Oh, yeah. Both prepared.
Go, please.
Sorry. That's what we lost. You're in a row. We're good for you to go live there, Alex.
That's live.
Let's kick into it.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Shelley Bruha. I'm the chair of PaySauce, and it's a pleasure to welcome you all to our annual shareholders meeting for 2024. Thanks to Duncan Cotterill for hosting us in this great location. I wish all of you in the room and joining us online to run through a presentation with you today, which we have released to the NZX and made available on the PaySauce website. Please read the full disclaimer slide carefully and note that nothing in this presentation constitutes legal, financial, tax relevant advice. A quick housekeeping message about voting and asking questions. Those here with us today in person will be able to vote and ask questions at the appropriate times during the meeting. Those joining us online have already had the opportunity to ask questions and vote with proxy forms ahead of the meeting. However, we will also be monitoring the email inbox noted in the NZX announcement for any further questions that you have online today. I recommend getting your questions through as soon as possible. We will be answering the online questions first when we get to the general Q&A section of the meeting. Let me begin by introducing my fellow directors, starting with those in the room. We have Asantha Wijeratne, Chief Executive Officer and co-founder of PaySauce, and Gavin Thompson, Non-Executive Director, who is retiring by rotation today and being eligible offers himself for re-election. And joining us online, we have Michael O'Donnell, Independent Non-Executive Director, Mark Samlell, Independent Non-Executive Director, and James Savitsma, Independent Non-Executive Director and Chair of our Audit and Risk Committee, who was appointed by the board in October 2023 and puts himself forward for election today. Turning next to the executive team, in addition to Asantha as our CEO, we also have in the room today Jamie Monaghan, Chief Financial Officer, Jess McLean, Chief People Officer, Troy Tarrant, co-founder, and Jacques Lebouchne, incoming Chief Technology Officer. We also have Matt Stokes, outgoing Chief Operating Officer, joining online. As guests today, we also have Matt Yates, our solicitor from Duncan Cotterill, and Braden Smith, our audit partner from Grant Thornton. Next, some housekeeping before we get officially underway. Proxies have been appointed for the purposes of this meeting in place of approximately 62 million shares, representing over 43% of the total number of shares. My fellow directors and I plan to vote all discretionary proxies we have received in favour of the resolutions in the notice of the meeting. I can confirm that the notice of meeting has been given to all shareholders and that we have a quorum at this meeting. Finally, I want to thank you, our fellow shareholders, for attending this ASM. I am now pleased to declare PaySauce's 2024 annual shareholders meeting open. Today's ASM will include comments from myself as your chair, Asantha, our CEO, and Jamie, our CFO. We will then follow with 3 resolutions to consider, and finally we will address any general business matters or questions that shareholders want to raise, then close the meeting. 2024 was a transitional year for PaySauce. We delivered our maiden net profit after tax, positive cash flow, and successfully executed the strategies that will enable us to deliver an acceleration of growth and drive the long-term sustainability of our business. In 2024, our primary strategic objective was to reinvest for long-term growth. Achieving cash flow self-sufficiency placed us in a privileged position to reinvest in the areas crucial to PaySauce's long-term value, our strategy. We made 2 pivotal decisions that shaped our path forward. First, we embarked on building a brand new payroll engine to power the unified payroll platform for all PaySauce products, including wholesale payroll. Second, we strengthened our existing tech stack to facilitate future technical security enhancements. The new payroll engine was successfully built. We signed off a proof of concept with a third party to embed payroll into their product. Although competing technology priorities for the client prevented this from evolving into a multi-year sales contract, the new engine remains critical to our future growth plans. Our focus on strengthening the existing tech stack is also successful, and I am pleased to report that we have migrated all PaySauce and Go Payroll customers to AWS. These strategic choices impacted our capacity to deliver new features for our existing customer base, resulting in a slower rate of new customer acquisition. However, our platform is now in a stronger position to reduce operational maintenance and enable faster product development moving forwards. While a significant portion of our focus has been on reinvesting for long-term growth, we dedicated development resources to enhance our service delivery by investing in our sales CRM solution and upskilling our talented customer service team. This commitment has been rewarded with increased customer advocacy, as evidenced by our NPS growing from 48 in March 2023 to 58 in March 2024. We have also engaged with industry bodies to grow our presence and brand awareness in the trades and construction verticals. Our sales team has focused on customer acquisition through accounting partner channels, adding new partners and expanding our customer base with existing ones. Turning to governance, we are thrilled to announce James Sabitsma to join the board this year. With over 25 years' experience in financial leadership roles across various industries and company sizes, from startups to scale-ups, Jim brings a wealth of expertise. Pending election today, Jim will continue to bring his commercial perspective to the board as chair of PaySauce's Audit and Risk Committee, ensuring our financial and risk reporting frameworks continue to evolve as we execute our growth strategy. I'll hand over to Jim to say a few words.
Thanks, Shelley, and good afternoon, everyone. I've enjoyed around 12 months with PaySauce already, and I'm really pleased to be part of the journey during what remains an exciting time in the fintech industry. Shelley touched on my experience. I've been a CFO of a listed entity. I'm currently the CFO of a family office. And in addition to that, I have a small number of private company directorships. In my current role, I've overseen investment in several fintech companies, and I think I've got a good feel for the key drivers of value in these types of businesses. I also hope to leverage my experience as the chair of the Audit and Risk Committee. I've had the opportunity to meet with the auditors and the management team, and I'm happy with the current level of controls in place. Assuming I get elected, I hope to continue to provide direction on PaySauce's financial well-being and risk management, and I look forward to working alongside my fellow directors to deliver value to our customers and shareholders alike. Thank you.
Thanks, Jim. The board and management remain confident about the company's prospects. The current high interest rate environment is expected to drop in the short to medium term for PaySauce. Much of the future interest is locked in at high deposit rates for the next 6 to 12 months. The forecasted interest rate drop is driving increased business confidence, and we anticipate growth from both new businesses starting and existing businesses expanding their headcount. We're excited about the ability of the Gen 2.0 payroll engine to improve the customer experience for our existing and new customers, and will assess any future wholesale opportunities as they arise. On behalf of the board, I want to thank the PaySauce team for their dedication over the year. To our shareholders, thank you for your trust and continued support. I'll now hand over to Asantha to give the CEO's address.
Thank you, Shelley. As you can see, financial year 24 was a landmark year for us. We generated our maiden profit as well as a positive cash flow for the year. This is a huge milestone for PaySauce, and for me personally, it's something that I've really been clear on achieving right from the start. As well as our maiden net profit of 1.2 million or 0.2 million before recognition of a deferred tax asset, the free cash flow generated was 300,000. We also grew our annualized recurring revenue 19% year on year to 8 million. We surpassed the rule of 40 for a second year running at 46, which is above the industry benchmark and a key metric that many tech businesses are striving for in this tougher economic times. As this metric indicates, growing revenue and generating positive cash flow at the same time places us in a very privileged position where we are in charge of our own destiny as we strive towards the next big steps in our strategy. As Shelley mentioned, reinvesting for long-term growth was one of the key objectives for our strategy for the last financial year, particularly into product and development. We added several key roles during the year as we bolstered our product and dev team. Jacques Labouchan joined the team as head of delivery, leveraging his previous expertise to improve the discipline and structure in our development function. This expertise has fortunately given my co-founder Troy the confidence to retire from the daily operations of the company and hand over the role of Chief Technology Officer to Jacques. As my co-founder and number one person who started this journey with me, Troy was our first developer, and I continue to remain in awe of his ability to stand up a product market fit solution in record-breaking time. And honestly, if it weren't for Troy, none of us would be in this room today. Troy remains the third largest shareholder and continues to be an ardent supporter of PaySauce. It was Troy's vision to split the squads into focus work into two streams. The first, delivering the Gen 2 payroll engine. The second, continue to improve the existing product supporting the current customer base. Overall, we grew our product and development team by 50%, including specialist DevOps talent, more development capability, migrating the PaySauce production servers and backend tools to AWS. All this will allow us to scale quickly and give us the flexibility to offer continuous product updates as we go forward. The long-term focus has meant that we haven't released as many new products and features for our customers during the year as we have done in previous years. Despite this and the tough economic conditions faced by businesses recently, we've still continued to grow our customer base on the existing platform. We've added over 1,500 customers in financial year 24. We've doubled down on our sales and marketing efforts to gain traction in the New Zealand market in new verticals. More recently in Auckland as a territory that is underrepresented for PaySauce with our campaign targeting the tradies. We also continue to develop our relationship with master builders and master plumbers, as well as other well-known brands around the industry. We continue to grow our presence in construction and trade space, both attending and presenting at conferences, roadshows, and seminars nationwide. We also grew our sales team and continue to leverage the trust that businesses have with their accountants, hitting both the physical and virtual payments as the team brought on more than 50 new accounting firms in the year to our partnership program, who in turn referred more than 600 paying customers in the year just gone by. Looking to the year ahead, we're building on the strong foundations of the product, people, and partnership advancements that we've made in the last year, which will power our go-forward strategy around loving our customers, supercharging growth, and building for scale. Loving our customers starts with defining our target customers as those with 1 to 5 employees. By understanding the unique challenges that face these small business owners, we'll give them the two things they need the most: peace of mind and time. Our customers are our strongest advocates and our most effective marketing channel. Supercharging for growth is critical for us to attract new customers to PaySauce. At the beginning of the year, we'd envisaged this growth from a wholesale opportunity which hasn't eventuated. Over the next 18 months, we'll leverage that new Gen 2 payroll engine to create a better customer experience for our core target market. We'll continue to engage third parties to look at embedded payroll solutions in the technology, and we'll assess them as they arise. But for the time being, it's really important to know we've prioritized our core customer base of employers, those employing 1 to 5 employees, over actively seeking new wholesale payroll opportunities. Building a unified product that delights both our new and existing customers with new web and mobile user interfaces is a key step in winning the product battle in the payroll space. Marketing campaigns will continue to increase our brand awareness and show small businesses that we understand them, that we get them, and we empathize with them. Developing new and existing partnerships with industry bodies and trusted advisors like our accountant channel will continue to be our focus as we look to nurture our existing businesses and grow new business within those channels. Scalability is significantly closer with the investment we made last year to ensure we can support customer growth in a sustainable way. From onboarding new customers, to providing an intuitive self-service payroll experience, to ensuring the back-end processes are powered by reliable tooling with the optimal level of human input, is part of the scalability challenge that we set ourselves. Because of the groundwork that the dev team have put in, we're in a strong position to capitalize on the opportunities ahead of us. And we have a fantastic team that are energized and ready to deliver on our strategy. I want to say a huge thank you to the team, especially to Matt Stokes and Troy Tarrant for the massive effort that they've all put in to get us to where we are now, and I'm incredibly excited to reap the rewards ahead of us. I'll now hand over to Jamie, our CFO, to run us through the financials.
Thank you. We're very proud to have delivered our maiden net profit after tax. The recognition of $1 million deferred tax asset inflated that value from 0.2 million underlying impact to 1.2 million on the face of the accounts. It's important to note that approximately $1.5 million of further deferred tax assets are available to recognise in future as appropriate. As a SaaS business, the underlying impact result is highly correlated to free cash flow. The $941,000 improvement in FY24 led to positive free cash flow in the same year of $300,000. The 32% increase in recurring revenue came from both processing fees at 14% and interest income at 18%. The increased interest income contributed to the 4 basis point improvement in the gross margin to 77% for FY24. Furthermore, process improvements and efficiency gains made this year and in previous years continue to reduce the impact that our growing customer base has on our cost to serve these customers. The Rule of 40 score remains above the benchmark, but it has declined to 21 points. That metric is a combination of the growth rate and the profitability, and the downward movement is driven from the ARR growth rate. We'll drill into the revenue breakdown in a couple of slides' time. Putting the current year's result into context of the last 4 years is best illustrated in these charts. In these 2 charts, you can see that we've consistently increased revenue at a faster rate than we've increased costs, and the impact on free cash flow has resulted. Our investment has been deliberate and strongly correlated with positioning our business for long-term efficiency rather than immediate short-term gains. The increased cash flow enabled us to settle the $650,000 bank loan in June 2024, replacing with a much lower working capital facility. Total recurring revenue grew 32% from 5.7 million to 7.6 million in the financial year. From processing fee revenue growth of 17%, or 0.8 million on last year, and interest revenue growth up 96% year on year, or 1.1 million on last year. The revenue growth from processing fees slowed in FY24 as our customers were impacted by higher costs resulting from the higher interest rates. This forms a natural hedge for PaySauce, and we anticipate that we will see increased processing fees from new and existing customers as those interest rates drop, offsetting the revenue impact of the declining yield from interest earned from the same customer funds. Drilling deeper into the customer numbers, the decline in the rate of growth is evident from the chart. We attribute the slowdown to 4 primary factors. We reached market penetration in our primary sector, being dairy, earlier than we anticipated. Marketing activities targeting the new verticals have commenced, but there's a long runway to get traction in those new industries. We made a conscious decision to focus our development efforts on the future payroll platform, our Gen 2 payroll engine, rather than features used within our current platform to attack new users. And our target market of employers with 1 to 5 employees found the impact of the higher rate interest environment challenging and reduced their appetite for additional expense. Our expenses grew 18% year on year, by 1 million to 7.5 million for the year. 0.7 million of this increase was into people costs, with employee expenses growing from 3.7 million in FY23 to 4.5 million in FY24. Breaking down our key SaaS categories, Our largest cost is general administration costs. This grew primarily as a result of investment into our people as we added new hires and managed wage inflation across critical back office functions in finance, management, people experience and operations. The increase of 547,000 year on year, or 21%. Our S&D costs grew with several new hires, including our new head of delivery role, specialist DevOps talent, and additional software developers. The increase of 218,000 year on year, or 12%. This investment also led to an improvement in efficiencies within the team, reducing the proportion of time spent maintaining the product relative to time spent developing the product. The impact increased the percentage of developer time capitalised by 7 percentage points from 49% to 56%. The cost to serve increased primarily due to wage inflation and direct costs due to increases in customer numbers. Our customer support headcount remained the same and absorbed the increase in customer support as a result of the investment made into improved systems, tools and processes, an increase of $178,000 year on year, or 11%. Customer acquisition costs increased primarily due to splitting sales and marketing functions into two with specialist talent. Investment into digital marketing remained low, a deliberate choice as we prioritised building and nurturing relationships with our key partner channel accountants. That increase overall was $57,000 year on year, or 8%. The customer lifetime value is a key metric for us. We monitor this to understand each stage of the customer's journey with PaySauce. The average revenue per user increased 11% to $91 per month per user, and the cost to serve those customers reduced 6% to $21 per month per user. The improvement in margin per user was slightly offset by a 3% year-on-year reduction in the average lifetime of a customer as a result of increased churn rates. Churn rates have increased as more of our customers have either stopped employing staff or gone out of business altogether as they faced economic challenges. These factors combined have led to an increase in customer lifetime value of 15% year on year to $5,890 per customer. Acquiring new customers was also more challenging this year, with the cost of acquisition per customer increasing 24% year on year to $510 per customer. That cost is equivalent to 5.5 months of revenue per customer, which is low relative to industry benchmarks for SaaS businesses. The total customer lifetime value of $43.4 million is derived by multiplying our average customer lifetime value by the closing number of customers at 30 months, being a 23% year-on-year improvement on the previous year. Since the 2024 annual report was released, we have released a market update showing the top-line revenue numbers to June 2024. In that period, we grew recurring revenue 20% year-on-year to $2.1 million for the quarter to June 2024. Of this, there was an 18% year-on-year growth in processing fees, contributing $1.5 million, with interest revenue contributing the remaining $0.6 million. The quarterly trajectory shows the total value of quarterly interest income has grown more in line with processing fees over the last year, particularly relative to the previous year. Looking forward, we anticipate the proportion of interest revenue relative to total revenue to decline slightly, but with a faster increase in the processing fees. I'll hand you back to Asantha now to give you more context to our outlook.
Thanks, Jamie. The obvious key challenge for us is to accelerate customer growth. We understand the challenge and we set ourselves up to be able to address that. The effort over the last 18 months to strengthen our platform has positioned us to deliver more improvements to more customers faster. We've got a clear market that we're building for, employers with 1 to 5 employees. The product team is hyper-focused on those customers and has clear priorities to build solutions that meet their needs and the needs of their accountants. We'll continue to nurture our relationship with accountants, listening to them to understand their client needs, to ensure that we offer their clients value for money while giving them the 2 things they need: peace of mind and time. We'll nurture and evolve the industry partnerships we formed, being front of mind for future clients and clearly understanding their collective needs. We'll pause seeking new wholesale opportunities until we've utilized our Gen 2 payroll engine to deliver a beautiful mobile experience for customers. Overall, I'm very happy that the groundwork has been completed to enable us to deliver the customer benefits that will drive our future sustainable growth. And I'm looking forward to the opportunity to share our next quarterly update with you in a few weeks' time, early in October. I'll now pass it back to Shelley to run through the remainder of the meeting.
That now brings us to the formal part of the meeting, matters requiring resolution, which are outlined in the notice of meeting. There will be an opportunity for shareholders to ask questions on each matter being put to shareholders. When I call for questions, please clearly state your name before asking the question. Take questions that have come through from online audience before moving to questions from those here in person. I ask that in the interest of fairness to all shareholders attending this meeting, that everyone wishing to ask questions be as concise as possible and be considerate to other shareholders wishing to ask questions. For the sake of good order, shareholder questions raised should relate directly to the matter being considered. Now, moving to resolutions, I propose to call a poll on each of these resolutions. Shareholders joining us in person today, you would have been validated, or been given your shareholder voting card. If you are a shareholder and did not register on arrival to vote, please make your way to the registration desk outside the room, and staff from MUFC, formerly Link Market Services, will assist you. Please mark your voting intention for each resolution, and the voting cards will be collected at the conclusion of the meeting. Results of the vote will be announced via NZX after the meeting. Each resolution set out in the notice of meeting is to be considered as an ordinary resolution, and as such must be approved by a simple majority of the votes cast by shareholders entitled to vote and voting on the resolution. Start with resolution A, which is the election of Jim Savitsna as a director. Jim joined our board in October 2023 as an independent director and chair of the Audit and Risk Committee. As you've heard from Jim this morning, he's excited to be part of our journey, and we're thrilled to have him on the board and about what we can achieve together. The board and I recommend Jim wholeheartedly to you as an independent director and unanimously support his election. Todd, are there any questions for the board concerning resolution A from shareholders who have submitted questions online?
No, there's no questions online, Shelley.
Thanks, Todd. Any questions in the room? If there are no outstanding questions on this matter, please now mark either for, against, or abstain for resolution A on your voting cards. Moving to resolution B. Resolution B concerns the re-election of Gavin Thompson as a director of PaySauce. Todd, are there any questions for the board?
No questions. No questions for this one either, Shelley.
Any questions in the room? As there are no outstanding questions on the matter, please now mark for, against, or abstain for resolution B on your voting cards. To resolution C. Resolution C is to authorise the directors to fix the auditor's remuneration for the current year. Under the Companies Act, Grant Thornton are automatically reappointed as auditors of PaySauce. Details of the statutory audit fees paid to Grant Thornton for the financial year ended 31 March 2024 are set out in the 2024 annual report. Todd, any questions online?
No questions online, Shelley.
In the room? There are no outstanding questions on this matter. Please now mark for, against, or abstain for resolution C on your voting cards. That concludes the formal part of the meeting. Voting cards will be collected by staff from our share registry MUFG. We will allow 15 minutes for questions. If we run short of time or receive your questions from online after the meeting, we will endeavour to respond to you afterwards. For those of you who have joined us in person, we've provided some afternoon tea, which will follow any remaining questions. I would now like to give shareholders the opportunity to ask questions, whether related to the presentations, the financial statements, or the management of the company. Todd, are there any questions from our online shareholders?
Thanks, Shelley. Yes, there's a question here from Zen Chen. Could you please give us an update about the progress of your proof of concept product?
Then what we've done is, as we disclosed, we ran the proof of concept and we delivered on all of the items on that. So it was a successful proof of concept. But due to the internal situation of the client that we did that for, that's not progressed into a contract from there.
Thank you, Asantha. There's one more question here from Zen as well. Have you started expansion into Australia? Are there any customers there at the moment? And what challenges do you face there?
The answer to that question is, with our very successful acquisition of SmoothPay in 2021, we have a number of customers both in Australia and in the wider Pacific region. And so therefore we are already supporting customers in Australia.
There's no further questions online.
Are there any questions from shareholders in the room?
Send in your presentation you claim 1 to 5 staff or members, and that's what you provide. What happens when an employer goes from double the customers? Do you kick them out, or you say, hey, no, we'll treat you as 2 customers? I'm not sure.
Yeah, the answer to that is, we've got customers with over 100 employees that we are currently servicing. They come with a different set of needs and requirements. So as we started the business, we would sign up a customer wherever there was an opportunity. And as a result, the development gets scattered and the focus gets scattered. So what we've done over the last 24 months is say, where is the biggest opportunity? The biggest opportunity is in the 1 to 5s. And they've got the greatest need, and that's where there is the least amount of alternate solutions for them. And that's the customer base we understand really, really well. So if we build a product for that customer and it works for them, and you've got an employee group of 75 employees and it still works for you, we'll happily take your subscription.
Any further questions online?
No further questions online.
There being no further questions in the room, I now close the meeting. Thank you all for your attendance. Results of the meeting will be released on the NZX later today. Thanks, everybody.
Good.
Yeah, all of that's true.
I should.
To me, I would.